Is a very there are quite a number of things that could influence a father being over tough to the boy. Probably there are cases where they are over tough because they're trying to make sure there's something they are fighting. There's something that they are trying to make sure that probably they used to be a victim, or they used to struggle with something, and they are seeing their child gravitating towards that, and they become, because they have seen the consequences, they become, like drugs. I mean, I've known of parents who, when they discover their child has begun to gravitate towards that, instead of having a conversation, they come on so hard because they really struggled with drugs. And so there could be a variety of reasons why the father could be over tough to the son. And one of those is because they are beginning to see themselves, and probably what they're seeing is what they have really tried to run away from, and probably they are still struggling with secretly, and they don't want their child to get there. And so there's a variety of reasons. So that may be a bit one of the reasons. And talking about the father who's really struggling to talk to their son about this. Now, you, as a wife, you have to be very tactful. First of all, the first stop is, try to understand why is it that they are struggling to talk to their son, to your son, and have that conversation, and encourage them. And they are encourage them to join a parenting class, encourage them to join, experiences for men that help them to open up, and like Man Enough and others experiences that are out there. So a parenting experience would be good. There are parenting experiences that are all over this city that one can be part of, that can help them to open up and find because sometimes they just don't have the tact and the skill to have that conversation. And in those parenting classes, they can find, they can find tact, the skills and the tact to do those. So it's important to encourage them, but talk to them. And then you can step in. There are moments when I find my wife has already had a conversation with my son about a couple of things. And so I'm playing catch up with my son. And so just be the Abigail, just do the necessary thing. Take your position and help your son. But as you again plead with the father, and push them towards being trained and all that. And also it's good to invest in family friends who share the same values, because they can come in handy to help stimulate the conversation. And we've had moments where I've hooked up with one or two other fathers just to have a conversation with our son or their sons, because maybe that conversation is uncomfortable for their father and it's uncomfortable for me. And so it's important to do that. So there are many ways you can go about that. Introvert personality differences. Really, and I will ask parents to invest. There's a lot of conversations that are going on YouTube about personality types. It's important for you to invest some little, time to learn about personalities. And you can study and observe your child, what kind of a personality they are, and find out how you can guide them along their personality. They say even the most introverted person can be able to be sociable, can be able to talk if they are trained and if they are helped. And so sometimes I would even coach my introverted son. I would say, when you go to church today, because he's very shy, when you go to church today, look for one person, just one person, and greet one person, just one person. And so have those conversations, begin to train them in a small way, and don't put them on the spot about their being introverted. Don't make fun of it, but appreciate it, and begin to work with them from their point of personality. Because even the one who's sanguine all over the place. You may need to guide them to know how they can maintain certain boundaries. And it's important to do so. And so introverted, extroverted, many times we favor the extroverted, we kind of gravitate towards the extroverted. You need to be very keen about the introverted person and invest in them and encourage them and take them step by step into understanding how they can navigate this scary world of interacting with people. There was a question about favoring one person over the other, and I think that's it's something that we need to be very careful because we've had that challenge with my two sons because of their ability to respond to certain things, especially learning environments. And so we've had one who responds differently to learning environments, and we made mistakes. We would compare them early in their life, and that affected our youngest son. That up to now, we have to deal with sometimes him coming out angrily in response to correction because we used to make that mistake. And so don't compare. You really need to look out for their strengths of each of your children and celebrate those strengths. They are there and you must celebrate them. And so there are quite a number of things that can be said about all those questions. I think for this, in the interest of time, because we've got 1 minute, I will stop there. But I would encourage you guys, sign up for a parenting course, and I think Douglas can guide you on that as you move along. All right. I'll stop there, Douglas. Could I pray?
All right.
Douglas,
maybe before you pray, we just have one request. One you've already answered. Someone is saying, give an illustration. Where can someone maybe join parenting class for teenagers, which I will request them to send their contact to me. I will be able to guide you. So anyone who want to join any parenting class for teenagers, that's why we are here. We'll be able to refer. Just maybe inbox me through 0710 754439. Just inbox me through 0710 754439. I've already shared my contact. I'll be able to guide you on that. Then someone was asking, give an illustration of a tough love. Maybe you can just go to that one. What tough love is. Then second, someone said, why is it hard for fathers to use, why is it always right for fathers to use tough words like you don't use your brain? Just respond to those two and then you pray. And then once you finish praying, then I'll just give a few announcement, then we'll release you in the name of the Lord. Just those two. Explain the meaning, illustration of a tough love, and then why is it easy for fathers to use insulting words in short.
Okay, tough love, I think I explained a bit of it early, is when you use the sandwich method to bring in consequence. That's tough love. And you allow them to experience the consequence. As there are times when I would use the rod on my child, and I would have to sit down with them as they cry, because one of them would really cry, and so I would have to sit through that until they stop crying. I'm sitting there with them and I'm holding them, and then after they have stopped crying, we have a conversation, and it's important. That's a small example of that, and sometimes allowing them to experience the frustration of failure so that you can converse with them at the end of, you give them a task, it's not coming through, and they are struggling with that, and you have to just watch them go through that, and then at the end, be able to process that with them. I think that's important, being present in a moment when they're struggling with the consequences of instructions that you've given. I mean, we've said sometimes we've said, you're not going to watch TV. You're not going to, have your computer for a week. And so they wrestle with that. You hear them, complaining in their room. But now the earliest form of tough love we have to practice. The earliest form for you that are just gotten, small children or very young children, we had to release our children to sleep in their own room a few months after they were born. Like one started at 6 months, another one at 3 months. The moment they weaned, they were sleeping in their own room. And so they would cry. I mean, I would hold my wife in the bedroom as we hear the child crying until they get tired of crying and sleep. That's tough love. They begin to understand a couple of things. And so by the age of 4, 5, 3, 2, they would go to sleep by themselves. So it gets to 7 o'clock, they just sign off and they're going to sleep. And that would allow us time in the evening. So those are a few examples. And you mentioned something about why men use certain terms when they are talking to their sons.
Yes.
And it's really anger. It's about anger. And I think the men really need to find out where that anger is coming. Unless they find out where that anger is coming from, and that anger is not necessarily towards the child, it's because of displaced aggression. That verbal abuse is a form of displaced aggression. And it's displaced because they are frustrated in other spaces. And so they're displacing it on an easy target, which is their child. And it's important to find out where that anger is coming from. What are they? They're not really responding to that child, they're responding to something. And as I said earlier, probably they respond to something they are seeing, a reflection of themselves. And that can be very, very challenging.